Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a follow-up review style video on two videos that I've done recently testing out some new makeup products. One was called Trying New Makeup. I was testing out the MAC and Patrick Starrr collab in there. I have some items from Pierre, Morphe, and also Becca to review in this video. And then the other video that I'm coming back to review is my Colourpop haul and try on video. I was trying out their new foundation, a concealer, the Perception palette, one of their face duos. So I'm coming back to give my full thoughts on all of those products. So if you are ready to jump into some reviews, why don't we go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so first up, I'm going to be reviewing products that I did in a recent trying out new makeup. Like I said, I was trying out the MAC and Patrick Starrr collection in that video. I'm not going to review it in this one because I actually reviewed the full collection previously in another video. I'll have that one listed down below in case you missed it and you still want to get my thoughts on the MAC and Patrick Starrr collection. I also do review the MAC and Aaliyah collection in that video as well, so if you're curious, that will be linked. I also did try in there some Velvet 59 lashes, but you saw right away in the video the lashes were just not working out for me. They were just too big for my eyes. I kind of like smaller eyes, and some lashes, when they're so big and dramatic like that style happened to be, they just don't really look good, so I have not worn those lashes again. So that's another one that you're not going to see in here. But the first product that I am going to review is this one here from Pierre. This is their 4-in-1 blush book. So this is what the inside of the blush book looks like. It is $36 and you can also find it available at Ulta. Okay, so you obviously get huge pan sizes in here, and then you have this variety of blushes, and the blushes are interesting to me because you have like little variations of colors within each of the 4 different blushes, so you have different tones of pink, and then you have this really interesting one right here. I thought it was funny that this was mostly pink, and then all of a sudden you have like a wabam, like orange bronzy blush. So I have worn all 4 of these blushes on my cheeks, and I have some thoughts on them. So when I first swatched these, they swatched very creamy, like a cream to powder almost, and they were super pigmented. When I was swatching them, they were just like whoa bam. And when I was first putting this blush onto my cheeks in that Get Ready With Me video, I was trying to go light-handed because I could tell that it was going to show up right away on the cheeks, and you know, you don't want to look too clownish. One thing that I've realized since trying the other ones is that they tend to fade pretty quickly throughout the day, with the exception of this orange one right here. This is a really nice blush. It is what I have on my cheeks today. It's definitely my favorite blush out of here. If this was like a blush that I could buy on its own, I probably would, because it's so different, it's so unique. It's not like my everyday go-to blush, but it is so pretty. So it's just kind of hard to swatch it because, I mean, you know, they have like the variations, like I said, of color in here. I mostly am just swirling my brush around, which typically I don't love, but I really don't mind it for that particular blush. Now, when I swatch it, like, to me, this looks like a blush that you, like, it doesn't look very blush-like to me in the sense of like what I normally wear for blushes, but it's not quite as intense once I put it onto my brush, and I just make sure to tap my brush quite a bit when I'm using this one. But you can see, like, it's not super intense on the cheeks, and that's what I want because I don't want a stripe of orange on me. But I really like the shade in here, and I also like that it has some shimmer to it because it's almost like you're getting a blush and a highlight in one. I still do have a highlight on top too, but it's just a really nice color, and especially as I'm more tan and we're in the summer months, I've been really enjoying this blush. But the other ones I don't love as much. I like them when I first apply them, but I noticed that very quickly it just seems like they're kind of fading onto my skin. So would $36 be worth it to buy this entire blush book? Probably not. But if you're someone who definitely, you know, when you put your makeup on in the morning, you're going out for your full work day, you need your makeup to stay in place, I couldn't quite recommend this. If you're going to be going out for a couple hours, nothing crazy, and you just want a pop of blush on, not bad for it. This one, I just, honestly, if I could buy this separately, I seriously would. It's such a pretty blush, but overall for the entire value of the blush book, probably won't be able to recommend it. I wish they were a little bit more long wearing because I was so impressed when I was first trying it. I was so impressed when I was first watching it, but unfortunately, the longevity was a bit of an issue for me. So next up from that video, I want to review this highlight here. This is from Becca Cosmetics. It's the Dreamsicle highlight. This guy is $38, is what it was sent to me via Octoly, which I was so excited for because I was super interested in this one. I love Becca highlights. I own a lot of them, but this color kind of intimidated me, and it's described as a soft tangerine with vanilla and gold pearl swirl, and I was like, is that going to look good on me? And it really did. It is a beautiful, beautiful highlight. I've been having a great time wearing this. I thought this one would be too dark on me, and again, I thought it was going to pull more orange, but it's definitely more of just a gold, and again with a little bit of vanilla in it. I think it's described perfectly on the Sephora website, or the website in general. I think it describes it perfectly. It's not too much, and it's beautiful. I love the Becca highlight formula. I highly recommend them. They are so pricey for one highlight, which is crazy because I'm never, like, I am never even gonna hit pan on this guy. Like, it's so hard to go through a highlight. But they are really, really beautiful highlights, and I've been having a great time with this one. I think it's a beautiful shade. I'm so happy with Dreamsicle. I love the packaging on these as well. I believe this one is limited edition, so I wanted to throw that out there, but I've been really happy with Dreamsicle. So next up in there, I tried these lipsticks from Morphe. These are called their Mega Matte Lipsticks. So these are $9 each, and they're available now on the Morphe website. So they have nice packaging here, and they are all in the red family. I think they have 5 different shades. They're a bullet lipstick, but they are matte, and how they say that they're a mega matte, they are a mega matte. I used the shade Lover in my video, which I believe is this one here, and I'm trying not to use some of the other ones because I could kind of tell right away that this is not my favorite red lipstick, and so instead of trying out a bunch of them, I figure I can give them away or give them to people who enjoy a bullet matte lipstick more than I do, because it's not my favorite. There's a swatch of Lover that I wore in the video. It's described as more of like a watermelon red. It is okay, how do I describe these? So they are matte, and one of the reasons that I don't like matte bullet lipsticks is I feel like they are super hard to apply. I think the same thing about the Anastasia Beverly Hills, her matte lipsticks. If you like those, you would probably like these because I think that they are very similar to one another. But for me, it's not my favorite. I love matte liquid lipsticks and I could wear them every single day, but when it comes to more of a regular / bullet lipstick, I do not like applying them because I feel like they're so skippy on my lips. I feel like I can't get an even application. I feel like I typically, when I use a matte lipstick like this, I'm having to come back in with a lip liner and try to even everything out because they're just not my favorite. I really did like the color of this one. I thought it was a beautiful color, especially for summer. So I thought the color was great, but I noticed that they also didn't seem to dry down, like dry matte completely, and I was still getting transfer for quite some time after I was wearing these. So that kind of bummed me out as well, because I was like, well, maybe I can get over it if it's gonna like last forever on me type of thing, and I didn't find them to be like super long wearing, and I was getting frustrated that I was still getting transfer after I was applying them. But it's not a liquid lipstick, you know, it's a regular lipstick, but I don't know, I guess I just thought it would be more long wearing. So for me personally, these aren't my particular makeup vibes and what I typically reach for. Again, I would compare them to the Anastasia, so if you enjoyed those, you would probably like these as well. If you're a big fan of red lips, you know, maybe check these out as well. They have those 5 different shades, like I said, and $9 is not bad for a lipstick, but for me personally, these just are not a favorite of mine. Okay, so next up I want to move over to some of my reviews on the Colourpop items. So I did a Colourpop haul. I ordered a bunch of goodies from them, and I decided to do a haul / try on style video so we could be trying things out together. So the item that kind of made me place my order with Colourpop, I was really excited about this new release, is the No Filter foundation. So I was pretty stoked when I saw Colourpop was coming out with a foundation. So this guy is $12 and is with 0.85 fluid ounces, which is definitely less than a regular foundation. Typically a foundation will have at least 1 fluid ounce, if not like a little bit more. So I mean, price wise, $12, it's still $12 for a foundation. I don't go through foundations the quickest because I do have a larger collection, but if you're someone who you find a ride or die foundation and you go through it quickly, might be something to make note of, that you're not getting the full fluid ounce. So I like the packaging on this guy. It's a really nice bottle. The pump kind of drives me crazy. I did clean it before I came on because when you pump it, it gets everywhere. It's all over the bottle. And I was like, ooh, that's what I don't enjoy about that. It also doesn't come with a cap, which I thought was interesting. So the shade that I got was Light 75, which on the website it says it's a neutral foundation with peachy undertones, and it's for light medium skin tones. So it surprised me that this is still in the light family, because this is definitely my summer shade. I do like that it says light to medium skin tones. If it would have just said light, I would have been like, what? But definitely in the summer, when I'm outside a ton in the summer, I definitely go up a few shades in my foundation. I was still a little surprised at how dark a light foundation came out on me, but they do have a pretty nice shade range. I think they have 42 different shades, and they have a lot of different undertones as well. But definitely, if I'm going to want to wear this in the winter, I'm going to need to go down quite a bit when it comes to the foundation. It is what I am wearing right now. So some of the claims on the foundation, it says that it's a buildable full coverage foundation, and it's supposed to give you a natural matte finish. Okay, so at first when this came out, I was excited for it, but then I was like, I don't know, because I don't prefer matte finish foundations. I typically deal with dry skin. Usually in the warmer months, I kind of go more combo to normal. Like, I can still deal with some dry areas, but sometimes I can get more dewy. Sometimes when I hear matte and full coverage, I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna look the best on my skin, because not a lot of those foundations do. So when I first applied it, I was liking it. I was applying it with a sponge, and I was really liking it. And as I was going through the video and trying it on, I could tell, like, as it was like drying and settling on me, it definitely appeared more matte, which I was expecting, of course. And it's interesting, and I don't do first impression reviews. I do first impression videos, or like get ready with me videos, and we're trying out things for the first time, but I don't ever call them reviews, because I do not know. Typically for anything that I'm trying for the first time, I have no idea. And this foundation like shows me why I don't do first impression reviews, because I went from like, oh, I think I'm gonna really like this foundation, to, oh god, no, I hate this foundation, to, oh my god, I love this foundation, to, I'm not sure if I really like this foundation. I have had to wear this so many times to feel like I was able to understand what I think about this foundation, how it works for me, who I think it would work for. It's taken me quite a few tries to get this down, but my overall, like, what I will say about this foundation is that I actually really like it. I don't think it's going to be for everybody though. I think there's a lot of pros and cons with this foundation. The pro is definitely, you know, it has a decent price tag, even for a little bit less than a fluid ounce. It's still a nice price tag, and they do have a lot of shades and a lot of different undertones to choose from, which is really nice. I really like the way it applies. For me personally, I prefer a sponge. I have tried it with a brush too, and I didn't mind the brush, but I just really prefer applying my foundation with a sponge in general, and I liked it. This is definitely a buildable full coverage, just like it says. When I first applied it in my haul try on video, it was full coverage. It covered everything. I typically need concealer to cover up any redness, especially around my chin. I did not need this with this foundation. I did not need that with this foundation. I have used it more where I've just done like less product. I've done less pumps, and it's more of a medium, but you can build it up. So I think that's really nice, because you can have some leeway with what it is that you want to do and what type of coverage you are feeling. I don't think this is a very long wearing foundation. I've noticed when I wear it past like the 6 or 8 hour mark, it starts to kind of break up a little bit. It starts to just not look so great on my face. And I've noticed that if I do not powder with this foundation, if I do not set this foundation with a powder, it actually makes me look oily, which is shocking to me, because like I said, I would never describe myself as oily, but I get very shiny with this one if I do not powder it. If I powder it, it looks great. It still doesn't last more than 8 hours on me. I would not want to wear this all day. I would not want to wear this to an event. I would not want to wear this, like, especially now when we're in really hot weather in Iowa, I would not want to wear this for an extended period of time outside. But I really like how it looks. For the, you know, the 8 hours or so that I can wear this, as long as I powder it, I really like the way that it looks on me. So again, it's just pros and cons, what you need, what you're looking for in your foundation. But for me, like, if I'm gonna sit and film, or if we're just gonna go out for a couple of hours at night, I will pop this on, because I think it looks really nice on my skin. I think it's more of a natural matte finish. As it was drying down and I thought it was becoming more matte, you know, I continue to watch it throughout the day, and I've watched it more with different primers and especially with powdering my face, and I think I really, really like the natural matte finish to it. It's not too matte, it's not too drying, it doesn't look too cakey on me. It just leaves my skin with a really nice finish, and I've actually really, really been liking this one. But it definitely does have its cons as well, so I wanted to point out the wear time of it. You know, I don't have oily skin, so I can't say for sure. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of reviews out there of people with oily skin, but I feel like people with oily skin might have problems with this one, especially because it was either the first or second time that I wore it and I didn't powder it, and I wore it for a really long period of time, and at the end of the night I was kind of like, oh, what happened to my face? Like, I do not normally look like this. What's going on here? So again, that might be something where you'd have to play around with the primers that you're using and the powder that you're using and continually powder throughout the day. Sort of thing. But if you are dry or like combo normal like me, I think that you would really like it. I still think that you would still have to powder it and just be cognizant of the wear time and how long you're going to be needing to wear your foundation. But overall, I'm actually really, really happy with this one. And like I said, I feel like I would need a different shade for the winter. I would buy a different shade for the winter because I really ended up liking this one. So if you are more dry like me and the words matte freak you out, I would not worry about that with this, because yes, it's matte at first, but honestly, it's more of a natural finish to me, and almost more slightly on the dewy side. Like, honestly, it's weird, it's crazy. Next up though is one that I don't really love this guy, and I'm super bummed about that, but it's the No Filter Concealer. I know a lot of people really like this concealer. It's only $6, which again, it's not bad. I did purchase this one a while ago, but I got the totally wrong shade, so I really haven't been able to wear it as a concealer. I really wanted to pick up one and hopefully get a better shade match because I really did want to try this guy out. So I got the shade Medium 20, which to me is like super interesting because I'm a light in the foundation, but a medium in the concealer, and typically my concealer is lighter than my foundation. So again, it's like, their shade matching is just like a little strange to me, but I got medium 20. It's still actually fairly light on my under eyes, like especially when I apply it, it looks lighter. I feel like maybe it gets like a shade darker on me, and I know a lot of people do say that this one does oxidize as well. It doesn't get like super, super dark on me, so I still think that medium 20 is a good shade match for me, but okay, so I like that it's more of a hydrating concealer. It's not too dry. It's really easy to blend out, and I think that's great, but it definitely creases on me a lot. I do have it on right now. I really smoked out my lash line to try to cover the creases because I just feel like it gets creasy on me right away, and I feel like it doesn't stay in place very well, and I can feel like it really breaks up pretty quickly around my eyes. So like around, like especially like in here, I feel like it breaks up pretty easily and pretty quickly on me. And I've been trying it with so many different of my powders, my pressed powders, my loose powders, and I just feel like it's not really, it just is not my favorite, which bums me out. Like, it's not the worst concealer I've ever tried, and like I'll keep using it, but it's not going to be like the one that I reach for right away, you know. And again, it's only $6, which is not a bad price, but like one of my favorite concealers is the NYX Ultra HD concealer, the NYX HD concealer, whichever that one is. That one's $5 at Ulta, so like meh. I appreciate that it's affordable. I like that it's more hydrating. I just wish it didn't become such a creasy mess, and I wish it lasted longer on me. Kind of what I think about the concealer. I'm bummed that it's not a favorite of mine, but I'll keep using it. Next up, I have this face duo to talk about. So this is the House of Mirrors duo. So inside you have a bronzer and also highlight. I really enjoyed that there is a mirror on it. I have both on my face today, the bronzer and also the highlight. These are $10. The highlight in here is really what steals the show for me. Like, I feel like I don't even have to swatch it because like I'm a live model right now. The highlight in here is so gorgeous though. It's a little bit, like a little tiny bit on the powdery side, but nothing too crazy. I don't even have to work to build it up a lot. And actually when I swatched it in the video where I was trying it on, it didn't swatch as intense as I wanted it to, and I was like, well, let's just try it on and see what we think. And then right when I put it on, I was like, whoa, wait, hello, where did this come from? That did not swatch like that. So I'm really, really impressed with the highlight. The bronzer, I wish I would like just a little bit more. It's just, it's not a bad bronzer, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not patchy, it's not hard to blend out with my brush or anything like that. But I guess I just think it's kind of I think maybe it's too light for me right now is what I'm going for. And again, I'm a little bit more tan, but this is the medium one, so the next step up would be for the dark skin tones, and I feel like for my summer shade, I'm more in like the light medium range. So it's still nice, but I still feel like I need to, like, I feel like I spend a lot of time trying to build it up. There, that's what I'm trying to say. So bronzer, not my absolute favorite, but I would continue to wear it. Highlight, love it. I mean, honestly, $10 for a highlight, you know, I'm talking about the $38 bag of highlight earlier, so it's like, come on, like, let's get it together. And again, really nice packaging on it, and I really do appreciate the mirror. So I like this. I'm not bummed out that I spent $10 on this one at all, but that is my thoughts on the House of Mirrors. And then the final item that I have to review is the eyeshadow palette. This is the Perception palette, and it was in collaboration with Makeup Shayla. This guy is $23. You do get a really nice mirror in there, and then all of these beautiful eyeshadows. We have 4x4, 16 different eyeshadows in here. Okay, so when I was using this in my try on video, I was immediately impressed, and I've continually been trying it out. You've been seeing me wearing it. If you know, I always list my makeup in the description box. You can always see what I'm wearing down there. I obviously have it on my eyes today as well. And I did also do a best brand buys video recently, and I chatted about my top $100 worth of Colourpop makeup in there, and I put this one in there. And I said, you know, I recently got this one. I'm still testing it out for my review, but I still feel confident recommending it, and that hasn't changed. This was one that from my first impression, I really haven't had my thoughts vary from it, which is exciting for me. But I am really liking this palette. It's more expensive. This was the most expensive item that I put into that best brand buys video from Colourpop, but it's really a step up from a lot of their eyeshadow palettes. Most of them do not have the mirror in it, and to me that's a big deal. I don't have a vanity, and I don't have like a setup with a mirror. So if my palette doesn't have a mirror, this is the mirror that I'm using. It's from Sephora, and it has like a regular mirror on one side and then like a magnified mirror on the other. That's what I use to get ready. So I appreciate when my palettes have mirrors in them, because I typically use them for not only my eyeshadow, but the rest of my face. So I definitely appreciate that about it. But the eyeshadows in here are so nice. Now, to be honest, I have not used 2 shades out of here, I believe it is. No, yes. 2 shades. I haven't used Titus, and I haven't used Sassy. Other than that, I have tried every single shade somehow on my eyes. Today, Strut and Slay is the shimmer that I have on, and I also have September on my lower lash line. The video that should have gone up the day before was my like that black smoky eye, and I went off of Shayla's tutorial. She had a YouTube tutorial with it. Stallion is the star of the show in that one. But yes, I have used the majority of the shades in here, and I feel highly confident in recommending this palette. The mattes are really easy to blend. The shimmers, like the word that comes to my mind whenever I use these shimmers is smooth. They are so smooth and easy to apply on the eyes. I do prefer using a damp brush with them, because I do notice that I do get some fallout. But honestly, these are really nice shimmers, and I really like this palette. At first, when I was playing with it, I was kind of thinking like, I keep doing the same thing, because I keep going in with Culture first, which is a great transition, and then I'm either going in with like Revenge or Thick, depending on what shimmer I felt like using. But honestly, there's so many shimmers in here that it's like, you have so many different possibilities. So yes, I feel like my eye looks are all kind of starting out the same, but there's so many different and such a good variety of shimmers in here, from the greens and the purples. Spill the Tea is such a gorgeous rose gold, and that's what I used in my try on video. We have the darker shades in here as well. I'm really impressed with this, and I feel like I can do a lot of different looks with it, and overall I'm super impressed. I would definitely recommend this one from Colourpop as well. I think Shayla totally nailed it with this palette, and I'm very happy with this one. Okay, so that's going to be everything for today's follow-up video, some of my hits and misses of new makeup that I've been trying out recently. I'll have everything linked down below, including the 2 videos if you haven't missed them and you want to go back and see kind of my first impression thoughts as I was trying out all these products and seeing how they've changed from my review. I hope that my full thoughts helped you. Let us know in the comments what products you have tried, and if you have the same thoughts as me, or if you've had a different experience. But I sincerely hope these reviews helped you, and if they did, I hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.